God sent plague after plague after plague, till finally Pharaoh let the Israelites go. God's people, the Israelites, marched out of Egypt. Every man, woman and child, all following Moses. It was God who had saved the Israelites, and it was God who led them out of Egypt. A cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. God led them out of Egypt till they came to a sea. Meanwhile, back in Egypt, Pharaoh changed his mind. He cried out, "What have I done? We have lost all our slaves." So Pharaoh prepared his chariot, and Pharaoh prepared his army. Then Pharaoh charged off after the Israelites. He found them camped before the Red Sea. The Israelites looked up. There was Pharaoh with his army charging down on them. And the Israelites cried out, "Why have you brought us out here to the desert to die? It would have been better to stay in Egypt." But God said, "Do not be afraid." And that night God separated the Egyptians and the Israelites. He placed his cloud between them. And God told Moses to stretch out his staff over the sea. So Moses stretched out his staff over the sea. All night long, God sent a wind from the east to push the sea in half. All night long, God's wind blew and blew and blew till it dried up the seabed. And when the ground was dry, the Israelites marched through the sea. A wall of water on one side of them, and a wall of water on the other side. The Israelites walked safely through the sea. The Egyptians saw the Israelites march into the sea, and so they chased them. But God confused the Egyptian army. He made the wheels fall off their chariots, and it was hard for them to drive. God told Moses to stretch out his staff again, and as soon as Moses stretched out his staff, the sea flowed back. The sea swallowed up Pharaoh, and the sea swallowed up the Egyptian army. Not one Egyptian survived. God had saved the Israelites, and when the Israelites saw God's power, they both feared him and trusted him, and together they sang a song praising God for his amazing power that had saved them. The Israelites were trapped. The Egyptian army was behind them, and the Red Sea was in front of them. There was no way out. But children, God is never trapped, not by an army and not by a sea. Nothing and no one can stand in the way of God's rescue plan.